Welcome to the 2020 Spring Commencement. I know that this is very different from our usual commencement setting, but believe me, the spirit is still present here. As our campus is adjusting to the new reality of COVID-19, I'm immensely proud of our faculty, staff, and especially you, our students. Everyone worked together to complete spring semester by being nimble, supportive, and most importantly, gracious. Our campus response to this pandemic has been the biggest challenge of my 18 years as president at Minnesota State University. And I'm immensely proud of everyone's cooperation. As the second largest public university in Minnesota, we're pleased to attract students from literally every state in the US, every county in Minnesota, and more than 90 countries. So you will be joining more than 125,000 alumni from around the world as well. We can only imagine the global impact COVID-19 has had on students, alumni, and their families. You should have received a purple and gold box in the mail. This gift is only one of the ways we want to help you celebrate your accomplishment. In addition, at 10 a.m. this morning, we emailed each graduate a specialized, individualized commencement video, so you've got mail. I realize nothing can really replace the experience of attending a commencement in person. Therefore, you are all invited to participate in our next commencement event in December. At this time of year, I often reflect on the meaningful experiences of living and working on a university campus. And at the top of the list is the interaction I have with many students in a variety of ways, through dinners at my home with presidential scholars and other student groups, through campus meetings with student leaders, or enjoying your performances on stage, on the courts and fields, and on the ice. And most of all, just chatting with you in the hallways. As an institution of more than 14,000 students, I've come to know many of you. Although I have not had the pleasure of meeting each and every one of you, I know you are awesome. Nobody can really estimate the impact COVID-19 will have on your future, on your lives, and how you will view the world going forward. However, I believe your experience living through this pandemic may in fact prepare you in ways you could not have dreamed of when you enrolled at Minnesota State Mankato. I'm very optimistic for the future because of you. Over the years, students have shared with me many of their favorite parts of commencement. For example, when they are asked to turn and thank their family and special friends who have provided support through their college years. And also they love the moment when they are asked to move the tassels on their cap from the left to the right side, signifying their induction into the community of scholars. Well, I ask that you perform these rituals when the time is just right for you. So whether you are completing your undergraduate degree or a master's or doctorate, please know that we are proud to have played a role in your journey. Finally, as our newest graduates, I ask you to bring understanding and hope to others. This spirit really defines and joins us together as a Minnesota State University family, as Mavericks. So congratulations, class of 2020.
Welcome professors, families, friends, and graduates of the class of 2020. We are here today to celebrate our amazing accomplishments. I know we are all disappointed we can't gather under one roof to celebrate, but it will be a year to remember and a unique story to share in the future. Let this not dampen your joy on this day of great accomplishment. Whether you are acquiring a doctorate, a master's, or a bachelor's, we all have a story to tell on how we got here. We now have the opportunity to reflect on our past and how we want to shape our professional selves in the future. Our years at MNSU may have included both highs and lows. My freshman year, I struggled to really connect with friends who accepted me for who I truly was. Some might say goofy or spicy. That's a shout out to my RPLS family. I'd always wanted to attend college out of state to really get the feel of who I truly was and to find strength within myself to carve my own path. At one point, I was considering leaving. I received a text from a friend in my learning community. out of nowhere that said, "Never give up, keep in the race, and have hope." That summer, I was informed I had received a position to be a learning committee coordinator. With this opportunity, I decided to return to MNSU and found great friends in the community. With residential life staff, other events through Circle K, a campus organization that focuses on volunteering on campus and around the community of Mankato. In my junior year, though, I faced a significant challenge when my father called me to tell me he was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer. Grief was a major theme of my life that year, as within just a few short months, I would lose my grandmother, my uncle, and my father to cancers of one type or another. I wanted to spend time with my father, and I thought of quitting school, but my father never wanted to be the reason I didn't finish college. He encouraged me to stay in school and told me he was fighting hard to beat the odds. He shared with me facing the future and told me to stay in the race and never give up hope. Those exact words resonated in my mind. Never give up, race, and hope. The exact words used years before by my friend. It's been nearly 2 years since my father's passing, and I credit him for showing me how to be strong in adversity. How I wish I could share this moment with him today, but I know I am my father's son, and I am blessed to have him as a role model in my life. My professors have always been there for me, and I wanted to thank them for their support and encouragement. Graduates, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Look back and thank the people in your life who have helped you make it here today. I hope that whatever knowledge you have gained through your time here at Minnesota State, it will serve you well. But remember, it's not only the knowledge that helps us grow as a person, but also the experiences and the people you meet. Learn to take the good with the bad and choose to learn from the hard times to grow to be the best you. My grandfather always said, "You grow old too soon and wise too late." I know that my years in Mankato have helped me grow stronger and secure in who I am and how I want to grow as a person. I wish to leave you with this quote from Grandma Moses: "Life is what we make it, always has been, always will be." Minnesota State has instilled in me big ideas and real world thinking. Graduates, go forth and make your life count. Thank you, and go Mavs.
Distinguished faculty, accomplished students, family, friends, and loved ones. I began my journey at Minnesota State University, Mankato, 10 years ago with an 18-month-old daughter and my son on the way. It is with an overwhelming spirit of gratitude that I am here today, in my home, proudly graduating with my creative writing degree as a single working mother of a now 10-year-old and 12-year-old. As I began reflecting on what I could possibly write to capture the magnitude, joy, and pure bliss of this day, a friend jokingly told me, "You're a poet. Maybe you should write a poem." I began thinking about the comment and realized there could be no greater poem read today than the one each of you have already begun. You see, to write a successful poem, you must first learn the craft, a strong command of language and form, much like you have all learned the skills and knowledge of your trade during your undergraduate career. Once that is mastered, you must pick a subject that moves your soul, in the same way that you are now selecting your career and future aspirations. While creating your poem, your tone will come shining through in the language you select and the order of your words. This is when your poem really begins to sing. This is what sets your poem apart from all the others. Your personality, values, and experiences shape these choices. Your tone is what people remember long after the poem ends. Talent isn't enough. Determination, ambition, energy, and grit are also needed. There can be obstacles, all things we are experiencing on a global level right now. Lack of inspiration, motivation, loss, stress, fear, constraints. These obstacles are things you have and will continue to overcome with strategic and sometimes lengthy revisions. The most beautiful thing about poems is the meaning that comes through between the lines from the most creative part of your minds. This is what makes your poem a legacy. This is what makes you one of a kind. As you go forward from this day, celebrate yourself, sing of yourself, and remember, the poetry is already inside of you. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Hello, graduates, faculty, family, and friends. Well, I wish more than anything that I could be looking out over a sea of purple and gold while giving this speech right now. I'm so grateful for the unique opportunity to be able to speak to you today, despite these current circumstances. Although this isn't the graduation we've been dreaming of, we made it, and our future starts now. I'm not here today to teach you the final 4 steps to reach your dreams, because you're already well on your way. Instead, I want to talk a little about choices. From the time we are born, the choices we make shape our futures, whether big or small. I grew up homeschooled, which was a choice made by my parents which greatly shaped both their lives and my own. Being homeschooled meant I had a lot of free time, and I was somewhat of a serial entrepreneur as a child. When I was 13, I started my own business. This experience cultivated in me a love of business, which helped me to choose a marketing degree and ultimately led me to choose Minnesota State University Mankato's College of Business. The choices I made led me here, and the choices in front of me will determine my future. Now, there are certain choices that define us, the ones that determine who we are and who we will become. All of you at some point in time also made the choice to attend Minnesota State Mankato. That decision made you a Maverick and led you to countless other choices. What to major in, whether or not to get involved on campus, how to spend your Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday nights, and the always difficult choice to sleep in or go to class. Life doesn't just happen. We shape our lives based on the decisions we make and their consequences. It is the sum of our actions, and these actions are what determine our character. With regards to character, I'm sure you've heard the basics. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. Be a good person and people will like you. We all agree that these are good values and the right things to do. But if presented with a choice between having integrity and getting where we want to be, what will we choose? Now, I'm not talking about character because I've somehow qualified as the most moral person at this university. Since honesty is important, I won't lie to you. I know what Quizlet is. Instead, I'm here because the choices I made during my time here had consequences, both positive and negative, that taught me valuable life lessons. As a freshman, I chose to work hard every day at swim practice and consequently earned the trust of my coaches. As a sophomore, I stayed out a little too late, a little too often. As a junior, I entered and won an entrepreneurship competition here on campus, all because I chose to stop being lazy. And as a senior, I chose to stay academically focused despite interruptions, and consequently here I am, graduating with a marketing major and a mass media minor. Sometimes our choices don't always lead us where we thought they would. I thought that 4 years of studying and attending class would lead to receiving my diploma along with my peers, but COVID-19 had other plans. Fortunately, it's not the result of our choices that determine our character, nor is it the outcomes of our actions. Instead, it is our intentions behind them that build who we are. Here's my point. Success is not derived from what you do. Rather, it's about how you got there and who you are. You can reach every milestone you set for yourself, climb the corporate ladder, and check everything off your bucket list. But if you don't do it honestly, can it truly be considered success? Yes, we will be remembered by our accomplishments, but we will also be remembered for our character. The accomplishments on your resume might bring you that dream job, but it's the choices you make that will lead to true success. Whether you're finally fulfilling your childhood dream or have a new goal in mind, remember, life is made out of choices, and integrity is a choice. It's important what you do, but it's more important how you do it. Thank you and congratulations.
Hello, my name is Shaylin Kaluski, and I am proud to serve as the student speaker for the College of Education. Today, I am excited to be graduating from the special education program. I would like to take a moment to address my fellow graduates. From future teachers, leaders, aviators, and counselors, we all have a lot to be proud of. In the special education program, as in other teaching prep programs, we talk a lot about the belief that every student is capable of learning, capable of exceeding, capable of becoming a better version of themselves. But it just might not always look the same for each person. Some students take longer or follow a different path or need different supports, yet they're always moving towards the same goal of learning. I believe life is very similar. Some of us take longer as we work through our educational journey. I'm now in my 5th year as an undergrad. Sometimes that journey can take 6 or 7 years, even longer. Some students are on a different path. Non-traditional students, switching majors, transfer students. Some of us need different supports, guidance from a parent, from friends and family, advisors and professors. Some of us supported ourselves or even a family while working to get to where we are today. This concept doesn't just apply to our students or even to education in general, but honestly, it applies to the rest of our lives and the journeys we will embark on. I was accepted into the Peace Corps, and in just a few months, I will be moving to Ghana in West Africa to teach at a school for the deaf for the next 2 years. Before you start thinking how impressive or how courageous that sounds, I want you to know I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But do any of us really? Right before we jump into a new adventure like graduation or a relationship or a new job, do any of us really know what to expect? Don't let the fear of failure stop you from continuing on whatever path lies ahead of you. I would like to end today with another idea we talked about in the special education program. It's called a growth mindset. It's the belief we are constantly growing and becoming better. In order to do that, we need to fail, be challenged, and pushed out of our comfort zone. With a growth mindset, failure becomes a teacher. Challenges become opportunities, and the edge of our comfort zone becomes the doorway onto a new horizon. Don't let other people's stories dictate your own. We're all growing at our own pace, reaching our own goals in exactly the way we're supposed to. Honestly, we're all just students, here together, going at different paces, on different paths, with different supporters, learning from our teacher, also known as life. Congratulations to the graduating class. Best wishes as you move through your next journey.
Hello everyone, my name is Mesoma Akolisa. I am a mechanical engineering major here at Minnesota State University Mankato, or I guess I can now say a proud alumnus. Before I proceed, I would like to say a very big congratulations to my fellow graduates as well as our families. We made it. It is the honor of my life to give the 2020 College of Science, Engineering and Technology commencement speech, virtually of course. MSU has prepared, challenged, and molded us for this very moment, and I couldn't be more excited. Although none of us ever imagined having a virtual ceremony, MSU has prioritized our safety in order to adhere to social distancing and ultimately help defeat COVID-19. Though these are dark times, we are stronger than ever. This pandemic has affected each and every one of us, some greater than the others, but what I can guarantee is better days are coming. How do I know this? It is because I am a living proof of when life beats you 99 times, you fight and you rise back the 100th. I'll share a quick story with you. About 7 years ago, there was a little girl who traveled 6,600 miles to the United States. Shortly after getting here, her father's business crashed due to an economic recession. A couple years later, she did finish community college and she was eager to pursue a bachelor's. She had no money, so she joined the United States Army in hope to get her education funded, but couldn't proceed due to her immigration status. With only $300 and faith, she moved halfway across the country to Minnesota in order to find affordable yet quality education. She got a job at a local pizza store and was working Monday through Sunday whilst juggling full-time mechanical engineering courses. Pizza Girl, as she was fondly called, was starting to fall behind in school due to her gruesome work hours. And when she applied into the program, she didn't get in. She had raised all this money and would have to wait an extra year to reapply. She did feel defeated. Thankfully, she applied for scholarships and she got it, which made her cut her work hours drastically. A year had gone by and she finally got into the revered mechanical engineering program at MSU. But her excitement was short-lived as she lost her brother the fall semester of junior year. She could feel her world crumbling and she immediately slipped into depression. She couldn't even say proper goodbye because of her shaky immigration status. But she would always remember one thing her mother said, which is, when one reaches rock bottom, the only way forward is to go up. And she knew she had to keep going up. She was confronted by faculty, staff, and her classmates, and which gave her the extra strength she needed to excel. Things eventually got better for her. She became a Forbes 30 under 30 scholar. She filed a patent with Dell Technologies. She became a United States citizen on her brother's first posthumous birthday, and in exactly 2 months from now, she will be joining ExxonMobil as a project engineer. In case you are wondering who that girl is, she is standing at this very moment talking to you. For many of us, these are trying times, but for every struggles, worries, and stress, always remember that this too shall pass. There are so many days when I felt beaten by the world and I wanted to give up, but I had to fight. And so as to say our final goodbyes, virtually of course, I encourage each and every one of us to follow our dreams in becoming leaders in global health, science, and technology, whilst representing our great institution as fearless Mavericks. Congratulations once again, and it is now time for us to rule the world. Thank you.
Why did you choose MSU? Is a question we are frequently asked as community advisors and student ambassadors by incoming and prospective students. Now, I would have others say the great programs or even the community. And don't get me wrong, I completely agree. MSU is definitely all of that. But if I'm to be completely honest with you, I always had one very simple answer: the colors. Yes, the colors. I'm one of the Lakers' biggest fans, so if you know, I hit the jackpot with the purple and gold. If I was asked now, why did you stay? Well, I would definitely be tempted to refer back to the lavish colors. But no, the longer I stayed, the more I realized that this school was more than just its colors. It was becoming more and more like home. And being an international student, 8,751 miles away from home, this was very significant for me. My classmates, rugby teammates, clubmates, and most definitely my coworkers reminded me of my sibling and cousins, the people I fought with the most, but also the people who pushed me to be the best version of myself. My professors, who filled the void of not having my parents here. They made sure I remained disciplined, responsible, and successful by any means necessary. The vast diversity reminded me of the great community I came from, one filled with love, acceptance, and so much to learn from, with each individual playing a pivotal role in shaping me into who I am today. Financial services definitely reminded me of my grandmother, who is constantly reminding me that I have to send her money for her to get her hair done. Then you have my bosses and my mentors, who were great replicas of my aunts and uncles, fun, approachable, and always full of advice, and there to lift you up when you're down. As cool as these aunts and uncles were, they were also there to correct me when I messed up, and in the most creative ways possible. Along with being like home, Mankato has helped me connect my academic knowledge with real life experiences. It has taught me effective communication, listening, customer service, and problem-solving skills, which I have and will use to adapt to any environment. We have been provided with endless possibilities and have created endless finish lines to success. And now we have crossed the line of obtaining our degrees and are soon to cross another one of the pandemic. It is now up to you and me to inspire others and to find the motivation to keep striving forward and crossing more finish lines and making new ones. I would like to thank my family and friends, both here and in Zimbabwe, for sticking with me. To the Rawlings, Reverend Parks, my mom, dad, and sister for tirelessly making all this possible, and to God for helping me through it all. Lastly, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Never forget where you came from or who you are, and have fun. Stay safe, stay healthy, and go Mavs.
One, two, three, four.
It's been 56 years since my own graduation. In 1963, this university was known as Mankato State College. Since then, the name has changed twice, and the campus has moved up the hill as well. I never stood here as a student, but despite these changes, Minnesota State University Mankato has always felt like home to me. When I return to campus, I'm reminded of the opportunities this university gave my family. My mother earned her degree here in 1930. My brother graduated 5 years after I did. This is where we started the rest of our lives, and they have been good lives. When I see the joy and excitement of commencement ceremonies, I think about the other lives that are being launched here. These are our future teachers, engineers, and scientists. They will be our police officers, our social workers, and our caregivers. They might be judges, senators, governors. Collectively, they will have power to change the world. I have thought often about the impact this university has had over the past 150 years. But as I watch these graduates celebrate with their families and loved ones, I can't help but think about the impact it will have in the years to come as well. And I'm hopeful that those who are taking their big ideas in the world today, here's to the next generation of Mavericks.